Hello, Wasteland. Today we're going to talk about people. That's right, people. People make the wasteland. Without people, it's just a scrap heap on wheels. You just have these empty, hollow shells of a bygone era roaming around, crashing into each other. And where's the fun in that? Now, when looking at putting miniatures in our cars, the key is there are plenty of manufacturers out there that make little scale model people that you can put on your toy cars. Everyone knows Dark Future. Dark Future is a staple for this, but Dark Future sadly is no longer in production. So if you can get your hands on it, do. Well, it's up to you. If you don't like the look of the Dark Future miniatures, don't buy them. Makes sense. What I like to find, on the other hand, are alternatives. Now, I picked up these well over a year ago. Must be 2 years now back, or 3 years even, back when Fury Road was just hitting the cinema. I hadn't actually seen it myself at that time, not that you care. But I walked into my local hobby store that sold more sort of airfix planes and tanks, that kind of thing, and I found these Zvezda kits, or however the hell you pronounce that name, these 1/72nd scale models for dirt cheap, like £2.99. You get a handful of little guys that you can put in your cars, as well as little scale machine guns. Fantastic. The packaging, by the way, is great. I love the Russian just all over it for use with the game Hot War. Fantastic. Now, I know that these guys aren't perfect, as you can see from these lovely CG images on the back and the low-res plastic photo of the models. These aren't, like, for an example, just a wild example, Games Workshop quality plastics. These are, they're kind of Tamiya, kind of Airfix quality, but some of the other kits, it's like a rubbery plastic, not the best. So why am I showing you these? I'm showing you these because A, they're cheap, and B, they come with a whole variety of different bits and pieces that you can use in your builds. I love them. I've used them myself. The first one I ever used was actually a medieval kit. I used that combined with a German World War II biker and an AK-47 arm from a Russian kit, and I created my first ever little biker dude, and he's having a great time. But what I like about these is the weapons don't tend to be these enormous chunky weapons. They tend to be more in scale. I mean, they're meant to be historically accurate, you know, quote unquote historically accurate. So when you're putting these on toy cars, they tend to look a little bit more real. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of this stuff that you get in these kits isn't exactly useful, like these giant flat areas for the guys to lie down on. Not great. But the actual arms and legs and the weapons, all fantastic. And even some of the guys too. I've used them on my war rig, you know, the Wolverine. The Wolverine has 2 of these guys. Well, not those guys. They actually have these metal raider types made by a guy over on the Lead Adventure forum called Kate City, or K Honeyman. You know who I'm talking about here. He's on Facebook. He's on the post-APOC group. If you can find this guy, it's not hard. I'll post up his email address, not his main one. And yeah, I use them, but I like to use the weapons and accessories from these kits because he made those guys as drivers. I think he's been working on some armed variants, but he used them as drivers. But I found I could put the weapons on them and they really stand out, they really fit in. So if we just open up this this American military, you know, US Browning machine gun with crew kit and have a look at what we get. I mean, you've got the usual piles of plastic, you've got an instruction booklet and a little game card, although the game card's not that great, to be fair. Not sure why it's been thrown in, but you know, it's there if you want it. Gotta love these instruction manuals, like very clear, precise details, although it's not a very clear and precise kit. That's the problem I tend to find with these. Cutting them off the sprue and assembling them, not always the easiest thing. But just looking at the gun itself and the different accessories on it, fantastic. That is a wonderfully in-scale Browning, you know, heavy machine gun that you can stick on the bonnet of a car, or you can stick on the tripod and have it like on the back of a truck with a couple of guys loading and firing it. Fantastic, that's ready to go. Same as the little Russian, I want to say light machine gun, but I think it's more like a little infantry sort of, I guess a heavy machine gun, but back when they would use little wheels to drag it around. But yeah, like that, you know, you can put that on the back of a truck and away you go. So, what am I hoping to do with the second part of this video? Well, the hope is I'll be able to take some of the bits that I've shown you in the few kits that I've presented here, and I'll be able to use them as part of a build. I'll actually be able to stick the gunners on the back of trucks, or stick the weapons on cars or buggies or bikes, and I'll be able to show you that getting past the hurdle of open-topped vehicles with crew doesn't have to be a Herculean task. Or at least that's the hope. I mean, chances are it'll all go horribly wrong and you'll just get a wonderful video of me explaining why my fingers are covered in bandages and bits of tape. But at the end of the day, it's all about having a bit of fun. Man, this is going to be a ghetto-ass video. To put this in perspective, I am using my PlayStation 4 to record my voice, because Audacity, or whatever the hell the program is, doesn't record anything other than static, garbled bollocks.